Good morning, and thank you all for attending today as we have a very special program and recognition of the organization called Bolt for the Heart. Before we start, though, I would like to take a very brief moment of silence for our fallen fellow brother officer, Deputy Kuntz, killed this past week. So please bow your heads for a moment. Thank you. We are here for a happy event, for a happy celebration, and it's my honor to introduce to you the Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Doug Carter.
It's not often I get to stand next to the governor of the state of Indiana and make a few opening remarks, but I have to today, sir. I have to today.
Yes, you do.
First of all, thank you very, very much to the media that are here. Thank you so much for the troopers that traveled from all four corners of the state of Indiana. To the board members for Bolt for the Heart, family members, thank you so very, very much. What a journey. Pierre indicated to me it's been over a year ago since this process began. And I still remember those early meetings talking about this incredible opportunity that we had, but the incredible commitment that they had to help along the way. You see that it's not normal to deal with death, dying, destruction, hurt, pain, and sorrow. I know you do. And it's my job to get all the tools in the toolbox that I can possibly get for you. I can tell you that my boss expects community partnerships. He expects us to lean into issues that are happening all over Indiana, and we do. But we couldn't do it without the partnership in every single community in Indiana. It's a really, really big deal. To add the tool to the toolbox for you, on duty or off, at home, away, wherever it is that you might be. I think the statistics speak for themselves. I told Pierre some time ago when he first committed and the board committed to doing what you set out to do, that we had to make this special. And for some reason, I volunteered to run that 5K on Thanksgiving Day in full uniform, and I will not do that again. I will not do that again, but I'm glad I did it one time because I can say I did. So without further ado, it's the highest of honors for me to be able to introduce a guy that's changed my life and has supported me from the very, very moment that we came into office in January of 2013. We have lots to do. We have lots to do, but we will continue that charge each and every minute of each and every day to not only support the citizens of Indiana, but to support the incredible dedication of the members of the ISP. So without further ado, the governor of the state of Indiana, Mike Pence.
Thanks. Stay close. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. This is a happy occasion, and I'm so grateful for the leadership of Superintendent Carter and for all of those in uniform that are gathered here today. We gather on a happy occasion where the people of Indiana are demonstrating once again their generosity and their compassion, but we also gather at a very difficult time in the life of our state with the loss just a few short days ago of Sheriff Carl Kuntz, Deputy Sheriff in Howard County. When I received word on Sunday morning from Superintendent Carter that we had lost a law enforcement officer, my heart was heavy. We have been prayerful for his family, for Cassie and Noah, for his parents, for his friends in the community, and for his law enforcement family. In this officer's passing, we are inspired by courage and selflessness and sacrifice. The good book tells us that no greater love has a man than this, that he should lay down his life for his friends. And to hear the testimony of those who went in to that trailer with him, we know this was such a man, and this was no greater love. We are brought to mind two other things, though, in this moment. Number one, we are reminded of the risks that law enforcement officers and their families, like those gathered here, accept every day, almost in a routine fashion as they walk out the door. I was with 5 deputy sheriffs in Dearborn County last night, and I shook their hands a little more vigorously than usual, and I just said, as I know Hoosiers feel all over the state today, that I wanted to thank them and thank their families. And this week we are mindful of all those who serve in uniform and their families and the risks that you accept on our behalf. And lastly, it's weeks like this, and frankly days like today, that make me unspeakably proud to be governor of the great state of Indiana, to see the outpouring of support, not just from our law enforcement community, not just from the good people of Howard County, but from all across the state of Indiana and all across this country. We'll be in high relief again early next week. But I think it is in times like these that we see the compassion and the character of the people of Indiana come to life in very special ways. And it inspires me and it humbles me to be able to lead so great a people. And days like today are in that category as well. Because as we gather against that difficult backdrop, we gather today really to extend thanks and appreciation to a Hoosier and a group of Hoosiers who saw a need, and through their generosity and through their determination are meeting that need in ways that will save lives for years to come. I'm here to extend the appreciation of the people of Indiana to Bolt for the Heart and to Pierre Twer for providing 50 automatic external defibrillators for placement in trooper vehicles in rural locations across the state of Indiana. This is an extraordinary contribution to the people of Indiana, and you have my heartfelt thanks. But as the superintendent said, this is what makes Indiana such a special place, is that the people of Indiana see themselves as partners in community with the interest and well-being of people. And here are partnering with the Indiana State Police in ways that are going to change lives and save lives, and frankly already have. Pierre Twer was inspired to start Bolt for the Heart, I'm told, after he participated in a 2010 Boston Marathon, which we actually have that in common. I've seen that on television. He witnessed a runner that was saved from cardiac arrest, whose heart was restarted by an AED. With Pierre's career spanning more than 20 years selling heart valves for St. Jude Medical, starting Bolt for the Heart was a natural extension of his professional career, I'm told. Presented an opportunity to give back to his community. So he started to raise some money to purchase AEDs for not-for-profit organizations. He organized the 5K Family Thanksgiving Run. The first race had 41 participants, and I'm told that the event in 2015, the 4th annual Thanksgiving Run, had 2,000 runners, and that is an extraordinary contribution. The funds raised from the 2015 event allowed for the purchase of these 50 AED units that are presented to the Indiana State Police today, and we accept them with the gratitude of the people of Indiana and from our hearts. This equipment in the hands of one of our state troopers will help save lives of someone who suffers from a medical emergency. And let me say, it's particularly meaningful to me because it would be 18 years ago next month that my father, just a year older than me, went home to be with the Lord, having a heart attack. I remember getting that call, and I remember the days that followed and wishing that maybe someone had been there with the means to be able to help my dad recover. We lost him to this earth, but not to our hearts. But I have to think in a very real way of what an extraordinary gift this is to the people of Indiana. not in a material sense, but in the lives that will be saved in the days ahead. And I thank you for that. In fact, I'm pleased to say that Bolt from the Heart tells us they are not yet done. It's my great pleasure to announce today that the Board of Directors recently designated the Indiana State Police as the primary benefactor to continue receiving AED units until every state police patrol car is equipped and every state trooper is trained. And we thank you for that. That says all you need to know about this organization, and we think of Pierre's powerful story and how it exemplifies Hoosier compassion. He saw someone in need, someone who without the quick action of a first responder would likely have not made it home to family and friends. He drew inspiration from that moment, he turned it into action, and without a doubt, lives will be saved as a result. Lives like that of Mr. German Rivera. It was December 28th, 2015, I'm told, that Mr. Rivera suffered a heart attack near Lowell, Indiana. His adult grandchildren, Rick and Amanda Thacker, were with him. They pulled into the Indiana State Police Post in Lowell, where Corporal Dan Becker used an AED to administer a shock and ultimately revive Mr. Rivera. Today, Mr. Rivera has made a full recovery, and I am told that he's back in sunny Florida, but I'm pleased that Rick and Amanda are with us today, as is Corporal Dan Becker. And would you stand and allow us to thank you, Corporal, for your quick action, and to thank you and your family for honoring us. Because of Pierre's leadership and generosity, I know there's going to be a lot more stories just like that. People getting another chance, a second chance at life, and some extra opportunity to be a blessing to their families. We hope you give your grandfather our very best. So with all of that, I'd like to ask Pierre to join us up here on the stage for a little bit of a surprise. And in fact, if members of his family would be so kind, I think I'm actually told that Susan, Rolf, Anne Marie, and Adam, Erica, and Ashley are here. Would you all mind coming up a little bit? Great job. Is this Susan? Well, let me say we are delighted to be joined by this wonderful family and to be able to share not only their generosity but also to honor Pierre and Bolt for the Heart's generosity to the people of Indiana. It would be about 50 years ago that one of my predecessors thought that the governor of Indiana should have a unique recognition that would be bestowed as the state's highest honor. On individuals who from time to time, through their character, through their generosity, through the impact and service that they have on the people of Indiana, should be recognized uniquely by our state. And so by virtue of the authority vested in me as governor of the great state of Indiana, it is my honor to bestow on Pierre Twer for his service in providing a Bolt for the Heart resources to the Indiana State Police and the lives that it will save, the Sagamore of the Wabash, with all of the rights and privileges associated thereto. Goodness. Congratulations. Can we get you to say a word?
Sure. Well, what a total surprise that was. The fact that my parents are here and friends and loved ones are here and me with the governor and Superintendent Carter, I'm so glad I'm saying thank you as opposed to I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. I did not expect this, and I had some prepared remarks, but those are out the window now. Any good leader surrounds himself with really good people, and I've been blessed with having my friends, my family, and some of my friends that I consider family join me in this quest. And as Governor Pence said, the first year it was 41 runners, the best run that no one ever knew about. to last year really making an impact, and we're starting to see the money we can raise can make an impact on the community. And wow, I'm shaking. I know I speak on behalf of the board of directors of Bolt for the Heart, all our friends, all the people that are here. The work that you do is very meaningful, and we are so appreciative of you being in the field every day. We respect you, and your work is difficult, but please understand that if this tool saves one life, that's fantastic, and we hope you never have to use them. We're happy with that. But we want to give you the tools to do the job that you do so well, very well for us. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, all you do for us in the state of Indiana. Governor Pence did a fantastic job, and Superintendent Carter pretty much said it all. I would like to acknowledge just some of our sponsors that have made us possible to do all this. IU Health, Marsh, the Current newspaper, Ogle Designs, Ed Grog and Diana Grog, Living Generously, McGowan Insurance, the City of Carmel for allowing us to use the facilities to host the run, and many other supporters that we've had. Without your help, this doesn't happen. So a lot of hands make light work for me. So this award kind of as a piece goes to everybody. Our main goal, as Governor Pence said in 2010, was to raise money to buy AEDs, and that's what we're doing. 100% of the proceeds go to buying AEDs, and with today's donation, we've donated about 140 AEDs in central Indiana, and the impact's been closer. And the impact has been felt through churches, schools, ballparks, not-for-profit facilities that probably wouldn't have the means to do them moving forward. But it came down to one of our board members was doing a physical exam on a state trooper. And after the exam was over, our cardiology board member said to the state trooper, "Do you have an AED in your car? Because I work on this not-for-profit board." And he says, I do, but a lot of them don't have AEDs. And we were just so happened to have a board meeting that night, and we discussed it. And what we came to the conclusion was, why not put the AEDs in the hands of the first responders? And that way, you know, the first responders are there, you have the equipment to do what you do. And so from that moment, that board meeting on, we decided to dedicate the next year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it takes to outfit all 400 cars that are on the road with the proceeds from our race. So that's what we're going to be doing. So Governor Pence did mention the true hero that we have in the room here, and I would like, if I may for a moment, bring up Rick to talk about the story of a true perfect success story. This is classic textbook AED success for sudden cardiac arrest. So it's my pleasure to bring up Rick to tell his story.
Good morning. It's quite an honor to be here today. My name is Rick Thacker. My sister Amanda and Corporal Becker are a hero that we're recognizing. I've been asked to say a few words, so I thought I would start with some that were from my grandfather. Well, after my grandfather met Corporal Becker for the second time, when he was coherent and conscious, he said to me something I'll never forget. We were going home and he said, "That's the kind of man it seems that he would give his life for someone else." And it was really ironic because on the way down here we were talking, I was asking Corporal Becker his life story. I'm known to ask 20 questions, and he told me about a situation which I looked up when I got here in 2013 where Corporal Becker pulled 4 people out of a burning car, suffered injuries himself, and was, had a 9-month recovery. So it's just interesting, the insight that my grandfather said, and it was almost word for word of the Bible verse that the governor quoted, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." On December 28th, my sister and I were heading to the town to get some chips for my birthday party. December 28th was my birthday, and my grandfather, who we call Poppy, walked out to the car ahead of us, and about 2 minutes later, Amanda came running back in the house and said she was crying, said Poppy had fallen, she couldn't get him up. I, of course, thought she meant he slipped and fell on the ice because it was terrible weather that day. So I ran out to the car and found him unconscious in the front seat. I tried to revive him by calling his name. There was no answer. I checked for signs of breathing. I checked for a pulse, but despite the training I've had in CPR and as an Eagle Scout and a certified lifeguard, emotion was just too high. I couldn't tell if there was a pulse. I couldn't hear the breathing. It was just really foggy for me. So I told Amanda, get into the car, call 911, tell them 3 things: State Police Post, heart attack, and on Route 2, Lowell State Police Post, heart attack, Route 2. I figured that the State Police Post might have an AED. They could probably get an ambulance faster than us, and it would be an easy landmark for the first responders to get there. So I pulled in. We live conveniently right across from the State Police Post. I pulled in, ran out, almost got whiplash trying to open the locked door before Corporal Becker buzzed me in. I said, my grandfather's having a heart attack. Do you have an AED? And I turned around and ran out the door. By the time I got back to the car, he and Sergeant Boise were already exiting the building with the red box of life, and they came out and they administered 2 shocks with the AED. They remained calm. They kept us updated as far as when they got a pulse, when he got good blood pressure, and stayed with us until the ambulance arrived. Corporal Becker said he had an ambulance on the way because it was good, because Amanda was still sobbing on the phone with the dispatcher. So Poppy had a week-plus hospital stay. God worked a miracle, brought him back to us. He returned to Florida in January, where he went back to his ministry of preaching in several state correctional institutions, where he's a volunteer chaplain. And while I'm grateful for the Lord sparing my grandfather, grateful for the lives he will continue to touch through his prison ministry, and of course grateful for an organization like Bolt to the Heart that will continue to provide the resources for these kind of stories, I believe that the greatest takeaway could be right here in this arena. With respect to Bolt to the Heart, the message that is resounding loudest to me is the one that speaks of the honor and character of the Thin Blue Line. The brothers and sisters of the Indiana State Police Department and departments around the world are deserving of recognition, gratitude, and honor, not just for the heroic actions that day of Corporal Becker and Sergeant Judy Boise, but for the countless actions of service taken each and every day. I don't believe there's been a time in recent history, at least not in my life, where it has been harder and more dangerous to be a police officer. So I want to say thank you to all of you officers. You leave your house each morning, give your spouse or perhaps your children a kiss, knowing that it could be your last. You bear that burden, and you live with the pressure of media and legal scrutiny every single day of your life for us, your fellow citizens, who are often horribly ungrateful and unkind in return. Therefore, the message that we are here to champion today is the real truth of law enforcement, not fringe situations or rare occurrences, but the real truth that every day countless lives are saved and protected by our fellow Americans that have chosen to be public servants. I'll paraphrase the Bible in Matthew 23:11, where it says, "The greatest among you is the servant." You all, by choice, are the greatest among us. Thank you, and may God bless and protect you.
And in recognition for the life that you saved, we'd like to present you with this certificate from Bolt for the Heart and Cardiac Science. And it states, for saving someone's life with an AED on December 28th, 2015. Textbook. Well done.
Good job.
Sorry. I'm a little rattled here. Rick, that was phenomenal. True heroes, last comment here. This is a special presentation. Sorry. So in conclusion, on our portion here, what we've done, and Superintendent Carter and Dave Burson have allowed us to do this, is these red stickers will be placed in the driver's side passenger window of all state trooper cars, stating that I have an AED on board. And that's to give peace of mind to the citizens of Indiana. So thank you for making this happen. I've also placed a medal on each one of your chairs, and that was the medal we gave at the end of this year's run. And it's just a reminder, because on the medal it says what to do in the event of a sudden cardiac arrest. So if you have children, teach them now on what to do. Call 911, start chest compressions, and get the AED. Our success rate will go really high if we have our younger kids learning how to do that. So please, there are more medals in the corner if you need more, if you have more than one child. Or if you like another medal for yourself. So in conclusion, we'd like to have a special a gift, special announcement. I'd like to invite up a couple people here that have been very special to Bolt for the Heart, have not only donated their time and efforts, but also their financial resources. So first person I'd like to bring up would be Tim Thoman. Tim is a good friend of mine. He's a member of the Bolt for the Heart Board of Directors. He's also president and founder of Performance Services. See you, buddy. I'd like to bring up Ed Grog, longtime friend, very generous man. Him and Diana come up too. Owner of Living Generously. On behalf of IU Health, I'd like to invite up Dr. Art Coffey. Dr. Coffey and I have been friends for over 25 years. He's a member of the board of directors for IU Health. And Corporal Becker and Dr. Coffey have something in common. They both save lives. So, I'd also like to bring up Connie Gardner. Connie is the Senior Director of Community Relations at Marsh, and Marsh has been with us since day one. And this is my first day meeting Connie. That's how generous she is. So they load up a pallet of waters, granola bars, bananas. My garage looks amazing the day before the race. But thank you, Connie, for all your support and all your help. And Mike Hyam. I'd like to bring Mike Hyam up. Mike is a board member, longtime friend, and member of Bolt for the Heart Board of Directors as well. So with all their generosity, we paid all our bills from the race this year. I made a commitment to Superintendent Carter and to Captain Dave Burson that we were going to hit 50, and we indeed hit 50 AEDs. But with some financial creativity and paying all our bills and having a little bit of money left over, we were able to buy 5 more AEDs. And we ordered 5 more AEDs, and based on their generosity, those will be delivered in the next month to State Police. Thanks, guys. So in conclusion, and finally, I promise, save the date. Thanksgiving run in Carmel on Thanksgiving morning. You're all welcome to join us. Our goal is to surpass 55 AEDs this year. And these AEDs will save a life. It's just a matter of when it's going to be. And I look forward to celebrating that with all of you next year. Thank you very much, and I'm very humbled by this. Thank you so much.
It was December 28th, 2015. I was working post command at the Lowell Post when a male subject came into the post stating that his grandfather was having a heart attack. I simply yelled into the radio, told him to call an ambulance, and grabbed a hold of the AED. Went outside, administered CPR, used the AED. We shocked twice, was able to revive him, started seeing a pulse from him. Ambulance arrived, took him to the hospital. He was in the hospital for about a week. He did a complete recovery, and he's down in Florida right now, continuing his ministry in the prisons. I'm glad that the family was able to look to the Indiana State Police, and I'm glad that I was there, properly trained, and was able to save him.